What does wearing a cultural mask mean to you? What has it meant to you in your life?
I think, we live in a society where we are the media caters predominantly to a white audience. So when you grow up in a society that is catering predominantly to a white audience, you tend to associate more positive associations to that white audience. So you tend to grow up wanting to cling to those things more so. And in order to cope, there's a sort of psychological displacement where you put on a cultural mask to try and fit in to that
growing
society.
Up practically, what did that mean for you?
Well, I grew up in a home where, I had a lot of black pride. My parents were educators and they brought me up in an environment to be very proud of where I came from. But I think for a lot of black children who might not have the same environment, I think it can be a little bit difficult, and they might cling on to things that are more white in culture to try and fit into school, trying to fit into the different industries that they're trying to get into. And I think psychologically that can be very, very confusing if they're the things that they're seeing all around them.
I mean, you said in the past that you'd love for a white person to live as a black person for a day and just feel what it was like. An incredibly powerful video. What was it like for you, turning yourself white?
When I made the video, I was incredibly nervous to do it because I was worried about the potential negative backlash, the possibility of people thinking that whiting up was potentially racist.
And some people have said that, haven't they?
Some people have said it, but I wrote an essay for The Voice online where I talked about the issues of blackface and whiteface and the differences between both of those, the associations and the derogatory associations that are connected to blackface are very different from whiteface. It's a very different subject and a very different psychological state.
So you don't accept that it would be the same, as some people argued, as a white person blacking up, which is now deemed to be totally unacceptable?
Yeah, I don't think it's the same at all, simply because if you look at the history of blackface, it was associated to very negative stereotypes. It's associated to black actors who weren't able to act. So white actors would dress up and blackface and perform in very sort of stereotypical ways, which were not promoting the real black identity. For me, the whiteface was a political statement, which was basically trying to talk about racial inequality, white privilege, and for us to take off those masks and actually accept our cultural identities and to embrace and educate ourselves about those things.
I mean, you mentioned actors there, couldn't be more current. Race is currently centre stage, quite literally. Stars threatening to boycott the Oscars. There have been protests about the BAFTAs. Yeah. And now the singer, Laura Mvula, has said she intends to boycott the Brits. Do you think boycotts work? Do you support them?
I think there's lots of different ways that you can deal with this issue at hand. Personally, I think that the way that you deal with this issue is to do it inside the belly of the beast. I believe that you can make a statement by being inside the industry and somehow being more powerful. Being here today, for me, I'm in the music industry, and having the opportunity to voice my opinion and make this music video in some way could be deemed more powerful.
So for you, boycotts don't work because they're taking the fight to the wrong place or not engaging?
I think there's lots of different things that work, but personally for me, I think being inside, education, talking to people, integration is more powerful than segregation. I think boycotting is something that we can talk about. But for me, I think that being inside of the industry and doing something powerful, witty, clever, to educate is much more...
Vivi Brandt, I'm so sorry, we'll have to end it there, but thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.